So you give them some, but not reasons. You give them anchors to suspend a frame from. And you do it in a particular order. You have to sequence them in the way that's going to be most effective. Then you set up that, and remember, 3 steps to your story. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 2 or 3 tops frames, major topic, subject, story areas inside of each of those things. So you're talking about 7 to 12 frames arranged in the same 1, 2, 3 step order. You find the anchors that suspend the frames. You ask them to start suspending the frames. You do it in a particular order. You build it 3 times if you're in a state that allows voir dire. Once in voir dire, you go through the topics, but you voir dire on the topics based on their experience, not your case. My aim, and someday we're going to get there, is the totally case-fact-free voir dire. No specifics about the case at all. For instance, if you want to talk to people about how they manage safety rules, or how they've followed safety rules, or how they've learned how to make up and apply safety rules, you could do it 2 ways. The direct way that you have rehearsed is this. How many of you have experience as a journeyman millwright using high-speed metal lathes and following safety rules that apply to them in commercial aircraft building? I take it from your silence that. Dennis Elias says that phrase coming out of a lawyer's mouth during voir dire is evidence of a complete failure of rapport. I take it from your silence that. What you've done is very good. You've given them the context and you've given them exactly where your case works and where your case is and the case you've lived with for lo these many years. Problem is, none of them lived there. You could do it another way. Who here has ever had any experience writing, researching, managing, or following safety rules on the job, at play, or at home? Thank you. I try not to lose anybody in my net. Now, the same topic, the same frame is being investigated. In one, everybody can relate. In the other, nobody can relate except the wounded guy who wants the money, and I just reminded them of that. You're not him, and you're not me. Just give us the money and get out of here. Why, thank you. You schemer, you. You want to have lunch? Rapport. You blow it by doing that. You're talking to yourself now. No, give them an opportunity to tell you about their experiences with safety. So what if they don't apply to the claim? So what if it happened on the job? So what? They have experiences from which they are going to apply the meaning, and that's called the frame of mind around safety applications. Safety for me, safety for others, and then maybe safety on the job. You can steer that conversation a little bit more specifically as it goes along. But first, you want to give everybody the opportunity to light up the frame of safety in their heads. That way, they're experiencing the perceptions you need them to experience in that order. If that's your number 2 frame, under step 1 of your story, that's the way you get everybody involved. Doesn't matter who ends up saying good stuff or bad stuff. I just want them to go through the same sequence of frames that I know is coming in a few minutes in the opening statement. Only then it is about my case. No one in that room is going to go, hey, he's doing the topics of this story in the same sequence that he interviewed us about things like safety in our lives. That ain't what they're going to feel. You know what they're going to feel? It's somehow familiar. And familiarity of that sequence of perceptions you're inviting them to walk through in their heads in their own little human narrative reads as credibility. Unless you use terms of art, in which case, shoot yourself in the head and go home. It wasn't out of focus.